글로벌 바이어는 브랜드를 소싱할 때 어떤 요소를 가장 중요하게 생각하는지 중동 최대의 유통사 그룹인 샬루 그룹의 스트래티직 인사이트 시니어 매니저인 안젤라 구티에레즈 매니저님을 모시고 깊이 있는 이야기를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 모더레이터는 트렌디어의 신지선 애널리스트가 함께 해주시겠습니다. 두 분 함께 모시겠습니다. 박수 부탁드릴게요.
네, 또 제가 이렇게 자리를 하게 됐는데 네, 먼저 저희 안젤라와 저희가 영어로 이야기를 할 거라서 옆에 있는 번역을 좀 참고를 해주시면 좋을 것 같습니다. So, hi Angela.
Hi everyone. I hope English is okay.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for joining us here in Seoul. And I can't believe it's been 2 months since we last met. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Is this your first time speaking as a panelist in Seoul?
Yes, it's actually my very first time speaking as a panelist. I've been here 3 times, but it's the first time I get to speak to such a large audience. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. And then for those seeing you for the first time today, so could you briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Angela Gutierrez. I lead strategic foresight and trend intelligence for Chalhoub Group head office based in Dubai. I'm also an active member of the Asia Beauty Task Force, which has been established by the group for their 10-year vision on how to accelerate entrance of Asian beauty brands into the market. Prior to my experience in Chalhoub, I had been part of Estee Lauder companies and Puig, which really solidified my appreciation and love for beauty and the Asia markets.
Oh, thanks for that. So to start with a bit of context for our audience, could you share how you first got to know about Trendier?
Of course. I actually met Trendier a while back when it was about measure commerce in China. We were really aiming to have better understanding of our brand's performance over there. So that was the first touch point. But more recently, when we were looking into developing a white label and kind of navigating manufacturer landscape, we came across the K-Beauty Trend Summit. And it actually helped us a lot. The whole videos that were uploaded really made us kind of clarify the avenues that we had. Not only that, the trend library and the dashboard has really helped us make data-driven decisions.
Thank you. So let's start over. So you work with iconic beauty groups, like you said, like Puig, Estee Lauder, and now Chalhoub. So from your perspective, when evaluating new brand partners, so what do you prioritize first?
Thank you for your question. So I think I have to summarize that in 3 key things. The first one is product market fit. We really try to figure out what is the right, what are consumers really receptive for a brand. We want to make sure the assortment is correct, the communication is correct, and of course we help our brands tweak whatever needs to be tweaked so that our consumers are more receptive to them. We really are data-driven in that sense, so we want to make sure that the Google Trends search, our social listening tools allow us to discover if our GCC consumers are interested. But even if the volumes are low, we take a closer look of what's happening in the US, which is a very important halo market for us. So definitely the marketing efforts that some of your brands are making in the US are really relevant for our region, and we track that. The second thing is whether the brand has a long-term focus. We really are looking and prioritizing brands that are not aiming to just kind of ride the trend wave, but more about solidifying as a global beauty player and really competing against established brands. We want to help you get there with a long-term vision. We've come across brands that are more on the kind of launch fast approach, but unfortunately that's also driving inconsistent experience for our consumers in the region, and maybe sometimes even trust issues when they're not sure if the brand is genuine or not. The third thing is scalability. How fast can we really kind of increase demand and therefore supply. So we're obviously helping you to navigate the complexity of the market, but we want to make sure overall that is a right brand, product, a team fit that allows us to think in the long term.
Oh, I see. So, given your global backgrounds, it's clear you've seen like how sourcing priorities shift across different regions. So, as we look ahead to 2025 and beyond, the GCC, especially the UAE and Saudi Arabia, is increasingly seen as the next growth frontier for K-beauty. So, let's explore why that is.
Sure.
So why does the GCC matter in the context of global expansion for K-beauty?
So one of the key things that we've come to find out is that the Middle East is actually the fastest growing beauty market right now. It's growing double digits, more so than any other market globally, and it's forecasted to keep growing like that. When we are trying to figure out what are the growth drivers of that, what we figured out is that Asian beauty triangle brands originating from North Asia, specifically Korea, China, and Japan, are really driving the growth. Right now, our market is still under-penetrated versus other Western markets. Our Asian beauty share is around 3%, while in other Western markets it's around 8%. However, it is growing double digit at plus 26%, while in other parts of the world is around plus 15. And what we have also understood is that it's really driven by skincare and K-beauty. Actually, the GCC is now the second largest Western destination for Korean beauty exports globally after the US, making it really a key stepping stone for brands considering global expansion.
Oh, I see. So, in your view, what makes GCC unique, and what distinguishes as a high potential market that Korean brands should take seriously?
So one of the key things, and this is going to be a mixed answer, but one of the key things is that the GCC is usually addressed as a single region. And it is, in a way, but it is made up of 6 independent different countries that are united mostly by their population, who is very young, highly connected, and eager to follow trends. However, all these markets have local specificities and cultural nuances that need to be kind of navigated and addressed differently. So that is something that really makes our region unique. There's no such thing as one thing that works in the UAE may not work at all in Saudi or may not work at all in Kuwait. So that's one thing to keep in mind, your mind on. The second thing that makes it unique is the consumer itself. So consumers in the region are not really looking to transform their complexions. They're really looking more to enhance their Middle Eastern features. That is something that we also recommend to the brands coming into the region in terms of tweaking their communication approach. Also, the consumer is eager for education. So our consumers currently have a 3-step routine, which is very different from what you may have experienced in Korea. 3 steps: cleanse, moisturize, protect, but how rapidly changing. So now it's really like a key moment in time for brands to consider entering and educating our consumer. They're really now more into eye care, lip care, which is also impacting the makeup category. As you were mentioning before, I believe I read correctly, that multi-category products that really have that hybrid effect really speaks to our consumers as well. So that would be a second thing. And then the third thing that I think is very relevant is that our market, although it is digitally driven, is still very much brick and mortar. So if you compare the GCC countries with what you are experiencing maybe in Asia, it's very different. Pharmacies, supermarkets, beauty specialists, they take up most of the market, more so than any other channel. So usually your strategy of starting first online may not be the best approach for our region, where consumers really want to experience offline your products. They discover offline, and they replenish online. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Okay, so looking at this from a brand's perspective, based on your experience of working with like K-beauty brands in the region, what do you believe are the most important things that Korean brands must prepare or like understand to succeed in the GCC?
So I would, again, come with a 3 framework approach. The first thing is really about long-term vision. The first thing that brands need to prepare is having a strong direction where they want to go and what they want to achieve when they enter the market. We have seen brands that have actually come to us and told us, we don't just want to launch, we want to succeed. We want to make it into the market. That means that there has got to be a clear direction. Your brand may be young or just starting a brand expansion, and that is totally fine. What is important is that you have a real map or a direction that you want to achieve. Again, thinking about becoming a global established player. The second thing, and I think I mentioned it briefly before, is market understanding. So really trying to capture those local nuances that make each and every one of our markets quite different. We help you navigate all those nuances and understanding what are the key local players, who are the key channels that actually can move the needle and cut through the noise for your brands. And then the third thing I would have to say, really aim to have a strategic partnership that will allow you to capture not just the region, but the right consumer touch points and really translate your brand DNA in something that resonates with our consumers. These are people who are eager to adopt trends, and they are very, very connected, as I mentioned before. So really having a partner that really acts as your local entity can help you with that.
That was really insightful. And actually, I think it leads us to the final pieces of the puzzle. So you mentioned earlier how strong partnership can make all the difference. So I'd like to ask, why do you think K-beauty brands should consider a partnership with Chalhoub, especially when looking to expand globally and into the GCC in particular?
Thank you for that question. So I think here I'm trying to summarize the answer, but what we really try to do, and when we offer an exclusive partnership to the brands coming into the region, it's really about maximizing your brand presence, but following and being respectful to your brand DNA and your ambition. For us, it's really not just about collecting brands. We're a family company, and our second generation, now chairman, Patrick Chalhoub, he always says we're not brand collectors. We're really about building brand longevity and investing in your brand awareness. We do have access to over 6,000 point of sales, and if your aim is to have maximum penetration, we can offer. But if you want to achieve one retailer that it's key for you, and we can also help you unlock those possibilities. So for sure, what we're aiming to offer is having a strong partnership that allows the brands to capture the market share without diluting the brand experience and offering a consistent approach to the market. So we hope that you do consider Chalhoub when coming into the region.
Okay, thank you so much, Angela, for sharing your insights today, and especially with such practical advice for brands navigating the GCC market.
Thank you very much, Lucie.
So I'm sure many of K-beauty brands here today will walk away with new opportunities to explore thanks to your perspective. So we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing more exciting collaborations between Chalhoub and rising K-beauty brands.
Thank you, Lucie. Thank you, everyone. Should I go down that way?